famous. I don't feel that he has sort of like an air of grace when he's with me. You know, money maybe has changed him in other ways, but personally speaking, every time I see him, he just greets me in a room and swings me around in the air, and he's one of the most untouched persons with all the fame and money that he's had. Stephen has a hell of a set on him, and lips as well.
Those who knew Tyler vouch for his quirky behavior, like snapping up insects from the sidewalk and popping them into his mouth, paving the way for future outrageous stunts like wrestling alligators. Born the son of a concert pianist on March 26, 1948, making him the group's elder statesman, Tyler seemingly always had an eye for mischief. Busted in high school ceramics class and led away in handcuffs by undercover narcotics officers for possession of marijuana. His expulsion got him classified as a youthful offender by the draft board, thus exempting him from the Vietnam War and leaving him free to pursue his love for the scorching rock displayed by his heroes, the Animals and Cream. In 1972, the band was spotted in New York's Max's Kansas City by Columbia Records head Clive Davis, who immediately signed the band to a long-term contract. Just weeks later, their self-titled debut album was released. Coming up with material in these fledgling days often meant nicking a few riffs from popular songs. The tune Somebody, for instance, was constructed around the bridge of the instrumental Route 66. Though the album quickly gained airplay on the local circuit, they were by no means an overnight sensation. They had to pay their dues, playing support for bands as diverse as the Kinks and the Mahavishnu Orchestra. Remembers Tyler, "You were a dartboard. Boo, we want the Kinks!" I put up with that for the longest time. And just as the guitar player combs his hair down over his face to hide behind, I would need something to hide behind too. Therein, claims Tyler, lay the genesis of his trademark scarves. It began out of necessity one night when his girlfriend abruptly took off with Jimmy Page, tossing his clothes out into an alley. Finding only ripped shirts, Tyler decided to tie them to the microphone stand, serving as a line of defense and also a weapon. "In the early days," says Tyler, "I used to put weights on the bottom of them and whack people in the audience with them and then pull them back like fishhooks." The band's debut single, the wistful ballad Dream On, released in June 1973, written when Tyler was, in his own words, stoned, stupid, and dribbling, put an international face to the fast-rising Beantown Boys. For all the accolades, however, attacks from the music press charged they were nothing but a sorry clone of the Rolling Stones. It was an irresistible angle, with the physical resemblance between Steve and Mick Jagger, both being electrifying, outspoken frontmen for their bands, both spitting out a snarly brand of R&B. For all his cockiness, though, the comparisons would long haunt Tyler, an admitted fan of the world's greatest rock and roll band. "I love the Rolling Stones," says Stephen. "Mick and Keith were the baddest boys on the block. Theirs was the hole that I crawled out of." Of the stinging criticism, Tyler states, "I was using drugs at the time, so I was in denial. If someone put me down about the Stones back then, I was a little afraid because I didn't want anyone to say I looked like Mick. A comparison is ridiculous because it has nothing to do with the music. Jagger and I have two distinct singing styles, but because we resemble each other physically, that's what they write about." Despite the charges, Aerosmith's second album, Get Your Wings, recorded over the autumn of 1973 and released in early 1974, went gold and cemented the burgeoning metalist into the top ranks. It also inaugurated their longtime association with producer Jack Douglas, who was able to draw the most from the group's modest abilities, or as one critic callously put it, talent inversely proportionate to their success. By the mid-70s, the band reached superstar status with the platinum-selling Toys in the Attic that launched their monster top 10 hit, Walk This Way. The funky, fast-paced track exemplified the rowdy, ribald, in-your-face theme they would repeat time and again. What distanced them from full-blown headbangers like Black Sabbath and AC/DC was their schoolboy sense of humor and outrageous stage antics. If songs like Sweet Emotion, Mama Kin, and Draw the Line were generating album sales, then Aerosmith's true power source was and is their energetic live performances. On stage, these animated rapscallions work off excess energy in a frenzy of exhilaration where each member holds a distinct function. Hamilton, battening down the gritting, pumping bottom line, likens his role to an athletic endeavor he goes into training for.
Physically, really, the way I get ready for tours, I practice a lot. You know, I play my guitar a lot because